Grizzlies need all the help they need as they have 3 players scoring over 25 points in Jaren Jackson Jr. with 26, John Morant with 32, and Darren Bain with 28 as they beat the Utah Jazz by 1 point last night in an amazing game between the Jazz and the Grizzlies. Welcome back to the NBA Recap. I am your host, Evan, and we are back with another episode. Today we are going to be talking about all of the NBA games from last night, recapping from our most exciting to least exciting. So if you like this, like, subscribe, and comment if you do have any suggestions. Alright, like I mentioned before about this Grizzlies and Jazz game, it was exciting. We had a 1-point finish, no overtime though, in an amazing comeback by the Memphis Grizzlies. They had John Morant. John Morant's been phenomenal this whole year, MVP candidate right now, with 32 on the day as Jordan Clarkson meets a doppelganger as he finds a kid dressed up exactly like him. Donovan Mitchell feeding it up to the open man as Malcolm Brogdon can slam that one down. In the fourth quarter, it was a jump ball and Grizzly ball with 12 seconds left. John Morant kicks it out. 3 for the win. Good. That's the game. Jaren Jackson Jr. with the big 3 of the game. And then the Jazz couldn't finish it out as Donovan Mitchell misses the final point of the game as they lose by 1 point in a final score of 119-118 as the Grizzlies move up to 9-8 and the Jazz move down to 11-6. The Jazz played a good game. I cannot blame them. They had guys Bogdanovich 24 points, 3 rebounds. Rudy Gobert 23 and 13, as well as Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley both putting up 19 points. And you can't blame them. They put a good show. They put a good game on. And they didn't play terrible. Their only problem was their turnovers. 14 compared to the Grizzlies' 7, as that was the big differential. They gave the ball away a lot. And that's where their problems really arose. Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley, they did have 19 points together, but they also had 8 turnovers as a duo, as that's their big separator. They had Bogdan Bogdanovic with 2 and Joe Ingles with 2. And that's what they really need to work on if they want to be a playoff team, because that's their struggle. They have the rebounding, they have the defense, they have the offense. They just need to handle their turnover problem. And if they can do that, they can be an actual contender in the West. Last year they did get first, but I don't really count that because, well, the West wasn't, I don't know how to put it. It was a weird season, and they also lost in the first round, so you tell me what you think in the comments down below. We're going to stay in the Western Conference right now as we have the Suns versus the Spurs. In this one, the Suns coming into the game with a 12-game winning streak as they get an amazing slam down by DeAndre Ayton. Keep in mind, DeAndre with 21 points and 14 rebounds. Speaking of 12, we have Chris Paul with 12, 2, and 4. As Chris Paul, the point guard, feeds it and had an amazing day for himself. The Suns, Booker, 3. They're also rocking their City Edition jerseys. They look pretty good, but they're the exact same from last year. Devin Booker had 23 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists, as well as Cameron Payne with 20 for himself, as the Spurs secure the win, grabbing their 13th win in a row as they move up to 14-3 as the Spurs go down 4-11. For the Spurs on the day, they had a pretty good day from DeAndre Murray with a triple-double, 18, 10, and 11, had a block and 3 steals, as well as Darren White with 19 and 4, and Jakob Poeltl with 15 and 9. They didn't have scoring. That's the problem with the Spurs. They have some decent defense. They also have a bit of a turnover problem with a guy like Cameron Doip, who only had 19 minutes, who only had 6 points, and committed 3 turnovers. That's not what you like to see, right? DeAndre Murray only had 1. I can't blame him. But they had a lot of turnovers as a team, with 15, and that was their differential. They also shot abysmal from the free throw line. 50%. Terrible. You put up a free throw and you're shooting 50%. Cameron Johnson went 0 for 2. Jakob Poeltl went 1 for 6. How do you go 1 for 6 from free throw? You tell me, Spurs. The Spurs did have a higher field goal percentage, way lower three-point percentage, as they were almost 20 points down from 3-point. That's another one of their weaknesses, as well as free throw, as these Suns shot at 81.3% for free throw respectively, and had more assists and more rebounds. We are staying in the West as we have the New Orleans Pelicans versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. To start it out, Karl Anthony Towns fakes the 3, Euro step, good, and slams it down on Jonas Valanciunas, has a little bit of a stare, and puts up a no-jumper 3, but gets it back, running through the lane. No one can stop a moving train, and they couldn't stop Karl Anthony Towns either. Karl Anthony Towns for the day had 28 points and 10 rebounds, as well as Anthony Edwards going for 18 and 7. Anthony Edwards is looking to make a huge sophomore season, and he's done pretty well so far, as he's been pretty good. Last year, he was probably should have won the Rookie of the Year, but LaMelo Ball obviously still had an amazing year. The Pelicans had no one scoring 20 points, which is fine. They had Hera Gomez, sorry about that, with 19 points and 11 rebounds, as well as Jonas Valanciunas going 13 and 6. And that was it. Their starting lineup really did not do much. But I need to also give it to Jordan Vanderbilt with 16 points and 11 rebounds, respectively, for himself. The Timberwolves shot pretty well from field goal, going 40%, but the Pelicans had better. The Timberwolves won 110-96 as they moved to 8 and 9, and the Pelicans moved to 13 and 6. The Pelicans aren't good without Zion. I think we've found that, and it shows again. Another thing, I'm big on turnovers. If you have a lot of turnovers, this is why you lose. The Pelicans had 21 turnovers compared to the Timberwolves' 11, as Brandon Ingram had 16 turnovers, only had 9 points in his 36 minutes and 16 turnovers. 6 turnovers. He had 16. That would just be terrible. Now we're going to go to the Eastern Conference, and we can go to Cleveland. We have the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Brooklyn Nets. LaMarcus Aldridge comes back, puts his hand up, but he wasn't paying attention to his backside as Kevin Durant gets the block and gets the bucket on a amazing mid. Kevin Durant, this guy is just amazing. 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. He is special. Who was also special? James Harden. Won 14, had 6 rebounds, and 14 assists. Was really dishing out assists today as he was focusing more on playmaking. As also Lauri Markkanen with 22 and 8, Jared Allen with 20 and 15, and Darius Garland with 24 and 5, and that's about it. They did not get help from their bench, as they were. It just looked like they were just not good. They only had 2 guys on their bench actually playing, but they all played well. Kevin Love grabbed 10 boards, and Ricky Rubio was going 16 for 7. As the Cavs put up a good day. I can't blame them. They just can't get past the Nets team, which is better. The Cavs go down to 9 and 9, and the Nets go up to 13-5 as the Nets win 117-112. The Nets, as a total, by the way, they also had LaMarcus Aldridge off the bench with 21 and 11. The Nets were just the better team, had lower turnovers, more rebounds, more assists, better three-point percentage, better free throw percentage, and better field goal percentage. Better overall. They're just the better team. I feel like the Nets can go farther. James Harden actually put up a good day. You can't blame him for not scoring as many points because he was dishing out assists today, and that's what he focused on. Now we are going to go all the way to D.C. We are going to Washington, as we have the Washington Wizards versus the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets are looking good, man. They really, really are. LaMelo Ball, 28 points and 13 rebounds. Terry Rozier, 32 points and 2 rebounds, as well as LaMelo Ball grabbing 7 assists. So what is Kyle Kuzma wearing? You're wearing you're a basketball player, and that sweater, imagine that on someone who's normal height. Oof. LaMelo Ball from deep gets it in as the Hornets as a team shot 50% from the 3-point line, as the Wizards literally shot half of that, 25.0% from 3, and that was the big thing for them, as well as turnovers. 18 turnovers compared to the Hornets' 10. The Hornets had lower rebounds, which was a big one for them. That's why it was a close game, but they were higher in everything else. And that was the turning point. They had scoring, they had assists, and they had less turnovers. Montrezl Harrell, I need to give it to him. 24 points and 18 rebounds off the bench. Bradley Beal with 18 points and 7 rebounds. And Contavious Caldwell-Pope with 13 and 11. As Kyle Kuzma can walk out of here in his oversized sweater as the Wizards lose 103-109. As speaking of Kyle Kuzma, he had 11 points and 13 rebounds. Kuzma's actually been pretty good this year. I can't fault him for just not being good his whole Lakers career because he didn't get the space to do it. He is now showing on a non-contender team that he's a pretty good player. He's had the highest efficiency of his career. He just can't dress. I don't know what that sweater was. And I don't know why he was wearing it. But we stay in the East. We have the Celtics versus the Rockets. Jason Tatum versus Christian Wood. Jason, step back over Wood. An amazing move and good. Tatum for the day. 30 points. He has been one of the more disappointing players of the year, but didn't disappoint today, as he went 10 for 22 from field goal. One thing that was disappointing, though, was his 1 for 9 from 3-point, which is why the Celtics shot only 34% from 3. But you can't fault just him, as they also had Dennis Schroeder going 5 for 5 from free throw, as well as Jaylen Brown 4 for 4, and Jason Tatum with 9 for 9 from free throw. More help with Jaylen Brown, 19 and 3, and Dennis Schroeder with 18 points. Dennis Schroeder was a steal, man. A lot of people were clowning him because he turned down that huge extension from the Lakers and got the $5 million from the Celtics. Yes. But the guy's playing well, and he's going to get a big contract next year. The Celtics win 108-90 against the Rockets, who still only have 1 win on the year, and they are a terrible team. The Celtics moved to 10-8, and the Rockets moved to 1-16, as they look to be bad for a while. They did have literally no one in their starting lineup put up more than 9 points. Jalen Green with 9, Eric Gordon with 9. They did get some help from their bench on Avery Brooks with 17 points and Kenrich Martin with 10, and that was it. The rest of their team, the little 3 points, the 4 points off their bench, that was it. That's all they got. They're just a terrible team. How do they put up 19 points collectively? I don't know. They had more rebounds, the Celtics had more rebounds, more assists, slightly more turnovers, which doesn't matter because you're playing the damn Rockets. A higher 3-point percentage, higher free throw percentage, higher field goal percentage. You get it. The Rockets are bad. All right, we're now going to go in the fast cap and our more uninteresting games. We have the 76ers versus Sacramento Kings. It was a day that Andre Drummond actually had a good day. 9 points, 23 rebounds. Yeah. And when you can mistake rebounds for points, that's how you know they had a good day. As he is taking big advantage of this moment where Joel Embiid is out. Tyrese Maxey with 24 points, and that was the big one. Maxey really led the game, and he is turning into a bit of a sidekick instead of Ben Simmons. De'Aaron Fox with 23 points, as well as Richard Holmes with 18, but it wasn't enough to get by the 76ers, as the Sixers won 110-94 as they move to 10-8. Good game overall by the Sixers. as they had a day without their star player, but got it back. Tyrese Maxey, hands to him. Our next game on our fast cap, we have the Pacers versus Bulls. Domantas Sabonis went 21 and 11, as well as Miles Turner with 12 and 10. And that was basically it, as they didn't get much from the rest of their team. The Bulls, DeMar DeRozan, 18 points. Zach LaVine, 17. And they were terrible. They played a really good game with double Zach last time, but now it's looking bad. The Pacers won. They did get a break, though, as they were only 12 and 6, and the Pacers are 8 and 11. But they did lose to the Pacers. I can't really fault them that much, because they played a pretty good game until the end, and they went back-to-back. They had back-to-back games, so I can't fault them. I'm not going to say anything bad about them, but we'll just see next game if this can carry on. RJ Hampton with 14 points, Mo Wagner with 18 points, and Robin Lopez with 13, but it wasn't enough to get by the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, this close to a triple-double. And they had some performances from literally everywhere. Chris Middleton with 12, Bobby Portis with 13, Drew Holiday with 18, Grayson Allen with 14, Jordan Nwora with 14, Pat Connaughton with 17. They literally got these small points. No one had 20 points, but they had over 7 guys score more than 11 points on their team, and that really contributes when your whole team's going for it. All right, I think that will do it for our recapping part. Now we are going to talk about the big things. John Morant's a good player, and the Grizzlies look pretty good. The Suns are really good, and the Spurs are not. The Pelicans have a turnover problem. The Cavs are actually not bad, and James Harden is focusing more on playmaking, and Kevin Durant is still good. The Wizards, they are just not good, and they also don't know how to dress, including Kyle Kuzma. The Celtics, Jason Tatum is looking like himself without the three-point shot. That will do it for our NBA recap today. If you like this, subscribe, and comment if you want to see more NBA content or any different stuff, or have any suggestions in the future. Have an amazing day. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.